Hello, everyone. My name is John Webster. In 1981, Alvin Sykes was one of the founding members of the Kansas City chapter of the National Black United Front. I happen to chair the organization up until a few years ago. I'm here to talk to you about my relationship and experience with Brother Alvin Sykes. First of all, I know you're going to hear from a lot of people because Alvin knew a lot of people and he touched many, many more. So there are a lot of folk who have things that they can say about Alvin, and all of them provide a unique perspective into the type of person Alvin was and is. When I say is, I mean because our folk continue to live on. Even after they've made their transition, their legacy lives on. So what I can tell you about Alvin, and you're going to hear a lot of people talk about how selfless Alvin was as a worker in justice. Alvin possessed a passion for the truth and a perseverance for justice. But in addition to that, Alvin lived a life very much like a Buddhist monk, if you will. By that I mean, Alvin was not a material person. He didn't have, Alvin, I've never known him to own a car. I don't think I've ever seen Alvin drive a car. Everywhere that Alvin went, either he took a bus, he walked, or someone drove him. Alvin, I can't remember if he really even had his own place for any long period of time up until towards the end of his life when he was with the housing authority and he had a place over in Kansas City, Kansas. And you probably know a lot about Alvin's background now from listening to some of the other persons who addressed his media. And that is, he was, his mother was 14 years old when he was born, and his father raped his mother. And so when he first met his father, it was at his father's funeral. And Alvin was raised by adopted parents, if you will. And so he had the kind of upbringing that too often happens in our community. Alvin was a victim of a sexual assault by neighbors who lived across the street from him. And he took those experiences and placed that into a context of seeing himself from the perspective of an underdog and then what can be done about it. He liked to say that, when people get in trouble, they're dealing with a bunch of professionals who know how things work, and then there they are with no experience having to negotiate with that system. And so that is the kind of person, the kind of legacy that Alvin has left with us from there to becoming at the heights that Alvin became, where he is known all over the country. He has met with top officials in Washington, D.C., from the Justice Department. He's met with a number of attorneys general, a number of senators. He's helped pass legislation in Missouri and Kansas, and he worked on a number of high-profile cases. Steve Harvey case here in Kansas City. He worked on the case also everyone knows of Emmett Till. He worked on, wanted to bring to you some other cases that he worked on that were important as well, but I think I want to just focus on something else. Alvin had something in common with some other people, and that is he put his life's work out there, and in the end, he left almost nothing. Who did he have that in common with? He had that in common with Dr. King. When Dr. King died, he didn't have anything, but basically broke. Who else did he have that in common with? We had that in common with Malcolm X. When Malcolm X passed away, basically broke. Because all three of those individuals put everything on the line. They gave their all. They gave their opportunities for material possessions. They gave their opportunities to be bought off. They passed all that up because they were relentlessly committed to the improvement of justice and freedom for their people. So I've had an opportunity to view Alvin in that perspective, in a perspective of those great women and men who put it all on the line for us. And it made me reflect on just how great any of us could be if we committed ourselves to a purpose. And what greater purpose could you commit yourself to than the freedom and liberation of your own people? That's a debt that we pay to the ancestors who come before us, who put it on the line for us, who fought on those plantations for us, who escaped and ran away and fought for civil rights for us and human rights for us. Well, that's Alvin. He paid his dues. He put it all on the line. And now, today being the 31st of March, one day before his services, tomorrow will be an opportunity for us to say, thank you, Alvin. Thank you for putting us first. When it came to issues of justice, police abuse, judicial abuse, thanks for putting us first. And then also, I just want to close by saying this. While Alvin lived, I had the comfort of knowing that if anything happened to me unjustly, I could call Alvin. And so I'd have to say this right now, with the passing of Alvin, all of us are a little less secure. All of us are in position now where we need to find some way to fill the gap left by Alvin Sykes, because he made his life committing to making sure that when we needed him, he would be there for us. God bless you, Alvin. May your ancestors be pleased with you and your works, because you have definitely left footsteps in the sands for us to follow. Ashe.